Talk to me, brother.
What are you doing here?
Are you spying on me? Well, dear Gregor, I don't like that at all.
Hold your horses. I was passing by and saw you here.
It's no big terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during services. There's no time otherwise. I mean, at other times I don't get to read what I like. And I keep it under the slab so the others don't find it.
I'll leave you be.
Thank you.
Talk to me, brother.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lockpicks? And what would you like those for?
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
I'd like to discuss the price. Right.
Beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death. The rule of Saint Benedict.
Talk to me, brother.
I'm looking for something a little,
And what?
Oh, nothing, Rick. Brother, I've a favour to ask, and I think you're the man to help me with it. Or you used to be, before you came here.
I see. So it's the dodgy sort of favor, is it?
Well, yes. I need to get hold of the keys to the monastery.
That won't be easy, I can tell you that straight off. The prior always keeps the keys close by him. So how exactly do you imagine I could help?
Could you take the keys off him?
Rob the prior? You've got to be joking.
You wouldn't be doing it for free?
Then what could you possibly pay me? I'm done with my thieving, and you'd have to offer me a whole lot of groschen to change my mind.
How much would you want?
A princely sum, brother. This is no trifling matter.
That much? Where am I supposed to find that much coin? No one here has any money.
Precisely. But no groschen, no theft. And think twice before you ask me that kind of favor again.
Brother...
I see.
Well... How can I get hold of them?
With great difficulty. Unless you want to rob the prior.
Is there any other way to get out of here?
The door out of the monastery is like any other. Only the lock's more complicated than most. But I can sell you some lock picks. And with a little training, you'll make short work of it.
There's something else on my mind.
Brother, remember the vows you made. We're forbidden to leave the monastery. It's not for me to sit in judgment, but think hard about what you're doing.
You have some interesting skills for a monk. Don't suppose you want to tell me how you picked them up?
What's there to tell? We were all young and foolish once. I was a student in Prague, completely broke, living from hand to mouth and studying all day. It wasn't an easy life.
So you turned to stealing?
I set about securing a livelihood as best I could. A goose, some new shoes, a bit of coin to spend with my friends. Without that little bit extra, I'd never have completed my studies. I would have turned into a beggar. And who else do you know that can say he's serving God thanks to having been a thief?
No one, brother. Thank you for telling me your story. I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who would you like to be the new abbot?
But John, there's no other candidate. Nevlos just babbles on and on. Don't take him seriously.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings of the Spirit.
Brother,
Let us do what the prophet says.
where were you during Mass? Don't tell me you didn't know that Holy Mass is the foundation on which your life here is built.
I was mute and was humbled and kept silent.
I was feeling a bit queasy.
Here the prophet
Really?
the spirit of silence sought to lead
This time I'll look the other way. But next time you won't get out of being punished.
punishment for sin, make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect silence, even though it be for good, holy, edifying, and sincere.
I'm Gregor, a novice.
In much
I saw you at the ceremony.
not escape
I
sin,
know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
life are in the power of
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility and submission inspired by
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
What can you tell me about Siskin?
Not a lot. I don't know him. Actually, I don't know much about him at all. Except that he's not a stickler for rules.
Saint Benedict, readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet
You really don't know anything about anyone?
I said, I will go
Well, thanks anyway.
that I may not sin with my
Don't get upset.
regard for
I'm
my
sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
Here the prophet shows that if the spirit of silence
I'd like to know something.
I don't.
refrain even from good speech,
Do you know anything about Yodot?
the more of
I don't.
sin make us
He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the circators.
silence. So
That's about it.
permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples.
Tell me about Antonio.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
Will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking
In the night, I overheard the cicadas in the cellar.
the disciple
They were talking about you.
silent to
Oh,
listen.
no. So it's still not over. This isn't a life in service of God. This is purgatory.
Lucas, what's going on?
Inspired by reverence.
What do you think?
But as for
Just like you, I saw the cicadas drinking and playing hazard as if they were in a brothel.
these we condemn everywhere with a perpetual ban. And for such conversation we do not permit a disciple to open
We should report them.
I agree.
the rule of Saint Benedict. Reading
I warned them if they didn't stop. I'd go and tell the prior.
is
But instead of mending their ways, they vented their anger on me. You've picked the wrong people to make enemies of, Lucas, they told me. Now I can't even count how many days and nights I've spent locked up in solitary confinement for the tiniest offences, or for no offence at all.
And cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness,
Is there something I can do to help?
objection.
Would you?
For the obedience given to superiors is given
I think all it might take is for you to go and sit down with them. Have a talk, set things straight, then they'd leave me alone.
in his heart. And even
I'm
though
afraid even this path leads nowhere. They'd probably start hounding you as well.
God, who sees that his heart is murmuring, and
I'm not afraid of them.
gaining a reward for such work,
Brother, you have the courage I lack.
punishment due
May the grace of God be upon you.
unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict
Will you tell me something about yourself?
on the abbot.
Guy,
Therefore,
there's
anyone
nothing I can tell you.
of abbot
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else
by
matters.
his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's
Come on.
commandments in
Is there really
words
nothing at all you can tell me?
among his disciples.
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again.
Always remember
What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath.
from him
Never forget that.
required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works or in obedience.
Will you tell me something?
And let
Guy,
him not shut his
there's
eyes
nothing I can tell.
I mean, where you're from, what sort...
Since he has
I'm-
authority, let him cut out those faults by the root.
You see, I'm looking
as
for someone
soon
here.
as they begin to appear.
You're looking for someone? But
Remembering the
you're a
faith
novice,
of
aren't you?
the
I am a
priest
novice.
the well
At least until I
disposed
find the
of
man I'm
those
looking for.
understanding. Let him
Why
correct
would you be
those
looking
who
amongst
have
monks?
first and second
You
time.
know, the laws of man aren't valid here. In the cloister, we're subject to divine law, the law of the church.
I'm looking for a footpad who's hiding out here in the monastery.
And other
He had a hand in raising the Neuhoff farm. He's taken many lives.
Paul is not
I heard something about that. But why are you telling me all this?
Because you could help me.
soul from
It has to be one of the other novices.
That can't
rule
be.
of Saint Benedict.
Have you told the prior? What are you going to do to this man once you find him?
Humility is obedience without delay. This is the virtue of those who hold nothing dearer
Talk to him.
than Christ.
Then I'll see.
Because of the holy
Do you have any idea which of the novices could be the imposter I'm looking for?
glory of life.
I don't know, and I don't care to know. I wish you'd never told me. Now I won't be able to sleep at night.
And cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this very obedience will be acceptable to God and pleasing to men.
If you could,
only if
who
what
would you
is
vote for to be the
commanded
abbot?
is done without
But I can't vote, so what's the point of worry? Ask Antonius. He often talks about it, and I'm sure he has an opinion.
superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far from gaining a reward for such work as this, he will incur the punishment due to murmurers, unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the abbot. Therefore, when anyone receives the name of abbot, he ought to govern his disciples with a twofold teaching. That is to say, he should show them all that is good and holy, by his deeds even more than by his words, expounding the Lord's commandments in words to the intelligent among his disciples, but demonstrating the divine precepts by his actions for those of harder hearts and ruder minds. The abbot should always remember what he is and what he is called, and should know that to whom more is committed, from him more is required. Let him make no distinction of persons in the monastery. Let him not love one more than another, unless it be one whom he finds better in good works. not corrected with words. And again, beat your son with the rod, and you will deliver his soul from death.
You've got a strong constitution. Anyone else would have certainly died.
What happened?
Let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a young boy. He was lost and miserable. He had no future. He was tempted by his friends into doing some foolish things, but he wasn't truly bad, because when it came down to it, he ran away rather than keep doing foolish deeds. His former friends didn't take kindly to that, though, and wanted to punish him. So they sent a hunting dog to find him and rip his throat. The boy wasn't stupid, though, and he knew that the hound was coming. He poisoned some food, and when the hound showed up, he gave it to him. He didn't expect the beast to live, but it did. And all of a sudden, the boy was sorry for what he tried to do. So he offered to make a bargain with the hound.
It was you that poisoned me.
Don't take it personally. Kill or be killed. You know, we're both pawns in someone else's game. They have plans for us, but we don't have to let them use us. We can just forget all about it and go our own way. I was a bandit, and I was at Nyhoff. I've robbed and stolen, but I swear to God I've never in my life slain innocent people. What I saw at Nyhoff made me realize my life was worth shit, but I still had a chance to change for the better. Here in the monastery I've had plenty of time to think things over, but then you showed up and fucked it all up.
So the evildoer changes his ways and finds God. What exactly are you proposing?
Both of us can leave this place. You can go back to your people, and I can go somewhere where I can live out my life in peace, and no one will try to kill me. If we work together, we can both get what we want.
What if I wanted a different option?
You could kill another novice, I suppose. If news of the murder got out from the monastery, my former friends might believe I'm dead. But I'm offering you a solution that doesn't require any killing. Before we make a run for it, we'll make it look like someone's killed me. Loads of blood, a tattered scrap of my habit, and footprints leading towards the river. No one will bother looking for my body there. There we'll split up. You go for your bounty, and I'll get as far away from here as I can.
Good. Let's do it your way.
Good. I'm glad that despite our initial discord, we could reach an agreement. Here, take something to calm your stomach. Now we'll need the keys to the monastery and some blood to make the tracks.
What are you going to do?
I need to get ready for a long journey. Prepare supplies, get some normal clothing somehow, that sort of thing. You can escape in that habit, but I need to vanish as fast as I can.
What do I need the keys to the monastery for?
How else will we get out? This place is practically a prison.
Getting the keys won't be easy.
I know, but Brother Salarius is a reformed thief. I'll bet he still has a few lockpicks lying about. If you know how to use them, they'll be worth finding. Or there's the hard way. Steal the keys from the prior. He carries them with him at all times.
They both sound hard to me. but needs must. And where am I supposed to get my hands on blood in a monastery?
You'll find a parchment in the kitchen with a list of ingredients on it, all the things they're ordering. Add blood for making soup to the list, and when it's delivered the next day, take it before anyone notices it's even come.
All right, that's everything I need to know. I can get started.
Excellent. Come and see me once you have everything, and try to be as fast as you can. And Gregor, thank you.
That would sound more sincere if you hadn't just tried to kill me.
That's why I'm thanking you, for being so reasonable despite what I did. For what it's worth, I'm glad the poison didn't kill you. And we can both come through this alive if we work together. What would you like?
In the night, I saw the brother cicadas drinking and playing dice.
And why aren't you spending your nights sleeping instead of creeping around spying on your brothers?
I only wanted to...
I know, brother, I know. But you need to understand that novices shouldn't be poking their noses into the affairs of elder brothers.
Even if something inappropriate was going on?
Even then, I'm afraid. Who are you compared with them? Wait till you know what's what, and in the meantime keep your head down and do what you're told. Life in a monastery is much like life outside in many ways. The monastery walls don't keep out human pride and hatred.
Really? I thought monks were above that sort of human folly.
They became monks, Gregor, but that didn't stop them being men. Be on your guard as much as you ever were outside. Lies, jealousy, vengeance. They can hurt you here as much as anywhere.
Thanks for the advice, although I don't know if I can follow it.
That's up to you, brother.
Salve. Be well.
What is it, brother?
I've discovered something about the wrongs being committed here.
I see. Tell me more.
The older brothers are picking on novice Lucas, punishing him when he doesn't deserve it and humiliating him.
It seems that now even brothers can't avoid worldly evil. Thank you for the information, and if you can, stand up for him. The older brothers are also out to get me. Any action I take, they'll try to use against me.
The Circators go into the cellar at night to drink wine.
I thought so. John always reeks of it. And he wants to be abbot. Hypocrite. Perhaps if you told the prior, that would clip John's wings.
That's all I know.
If you find out anything else, come to me. I'd be interested to hear it.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today it's your task to concoct 2 potions to aid digestion. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them.
What troubles you?
I'd like to ask you something.
What do you desire?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Brother, what will become of you? Oh, well. Ah, Gregor.
Talk to me, brother.
Let's talk about the
Well, we can... This is a waste of time. Aha, Gregor. What troubles you?
I've got the money.
By the relics of Saint Procopius, where did you get all of that? But a promise is a promise. Give me that and I'll get the keys to get you out.
There you go.
Come back in a couple of days. I won't manage to get the keys before that.
Brother Nevlis says that you didn't finish your work in the herb room. Have you lost your taste for honest labor?
I had other affairs that needed to be attended to immediately. It will never happen again.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you, but next time you'll be punished just like everyone else. Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
I definitely was there. I did come a little late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you, but next...
I heard you've been mistreating Novice Lucas.
What's it to you?
I want you to put an end to it and treat him like you should. Like a brother.
Well, well. You've really grown a pair of angel's wings. You better be careful. Wings can get clipped. A few days rotting in solitary might remind you who's who around here.
I couldn't care less who's around here. All I know is there's me, a young man in his prime, and there's you, a decrepit old geezer who's about to get his face smashed in.
Come now, brother. There's no need for such angry words. Nothing serious happened. We had a bit of a brotherly disagreement with Lucas, but that's water under the bridge. Please, tell him everything's been forgiven, and he's got nothing to fear from us. Satisfied?
Thanks. I'm always glad when people can come to a civil agreement.
Beware of Lucas. He might corrupt you.
What do you mean?
He's a sodomite, a sinner. He might try to get you into the habit, or out of it.
I'll decide for myself who I do and don't talk to.
What do you desire?
Talk to me, brother.
Do you have the keys yet?
What, you think...
I'm looking for...
And what...
I'm looking for...
Luck?
I'd like to...
Well, why not? So you heard... I'll trade them.
I'd like to discuss the prop.
Well, we can try.
Here you are, with a little top.
My word.
Praise be to Christ, brother. Novices have no business here. Praise be to Christ.
Can we do something about the price?
Well, we can try. No deal, then.
What do you desire?
I'd like to ask...
brother. You were somewhere you shouldn't.
Very well, brother. I accept my punishment.
I still need to look through your pockets to see if you have anything You have a weapon. Here in the monastery. I don't care where you got it or why, but clearly your intent... You failed to complete your trial period as a novice. You are hereby banished from the...
What do you want here? That stuff's mine. Well, I suppose you found it now anyway. It's no big terrible secret. Really, it isn't. I just go and read during service.
What kind of a book is it?
I found it here in the library. It was on a shelf where it should never have been. So I hid it to read later. It's the Necronomicon. Ghosts, demons, and invocations of powers beyond our world. Only it's written in a strange language that I can't really make sense of. All bara this and bara that. Who knows what it means? I tried to count the syllables, read the words backwards, but nothing. I'm not getting anywhere with it.
Oh, I'm not too sure what the prior or the cicator would say about a book like that. Actually, what anyone would say. It sounds quite prohibited.
Prejudice. But you're right, it is prohibited. For no good reason, though. Has knowledge ever done anybody any harm?
If it wasn't harmful, it wouldn't be forbidden?
That's a rather limited view of the world. Some write about the saints, others about demons. And an educated person should know both. Pity I can't understand a word it says. And I've been trying for quite a while. Just please don't tell anyone about the book. If the brothers learn that I took it from the library and hid it, I'll be in a lot of trouble. Our brothers' minds are closed to a thirst for knowledge.
There's a lot of coin in the stash. You have to admit it looks suspicious.
I admit it might look that way. But if I tell you what I'm hiding from everybody, I think you'll understand why. I hate to think of all I lost when they stuck me in here. And also because I really hate the question,
What about the dagger?
That's a memento of better times. Father gave me that when I was a little lad. And it's done right by me more than once, when I got drunk somewhere with the wrong sort of people.
Do you know how to fight?
And how? Boozing and brawling. God, how I miss that here.
That's all I wanted.
Please, keep it to yourself. Especially the part about the coin. What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Well, probably the same as you.
What exactly do you...
Well, I'd be interested to find the unofficial biography of Saint Procopius, but there probably is no such thing. To be honest, I was expecting some entertaining reading, but it's just the same old stuffy nonsense. But if that locked cabinet there with all the forbidden books was open, that would be a different story. Until recently it was still unlocked, but after something vanished, they've kept it locked tight.
Maybe I could get inside.
Oh, that would be wonderful. I'd love to pore over some of those tomes. We'd be in it together, up to our ears in it. What do you say?
We'll see what I can do.
What's this? Someone's been poking around. What is it, brother? Salve. Be well. Talk to me, brother.
Death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked. belong to the master. The disciple's part is to be silent and to listen. And for that reason, if anything has to be asked of the superior, it should be asked
What is it,
with
brother?
all the humility and submission
I'm
inspired by reverence. But as for coarse
I'm looking for-
jests and idle words, or words that move to laughter,
I'd like to-
these we condemn everywhere as perpetual ban. Without delay. This is the virtue.
Can we do
of those
something
who
about the
have
price?
nothing dearer to them than
Well,
Christ,
we can try.
who, because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command and cannot suffer any delay in executing it. But this
Satisfied?
very obedience will
You
be
won't convince me with
acceptable
that.
to God and pleasing to men only if what is commanded is done without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness,
Aye, that would do it.
grumbling, or objection. For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will not be acceptable to God, who sees that his heart is murmuring. And far
I'm
from
Gregor,
gaining a reward for
and
such work
and
as
you
this,
are?
he will incur
Lucas.
the punishment due to murmurers unless he amend and make satisfaction. The rule of Saint Benedict.
We should
Readings on humility. The first degree of humility is obedience without delay. This is the
Is there
virtue
something-
of those who hold nothing dearer to them than Christ.
I'm not afraid.
Because of the holy service they have professed, and the fear of hell and the glory of life everlasting, as soon as anything has been ordered by the superior, receive it as a divine command.
There's something I should
cannot
tell you.
suffer any delay in
Something secret.
But this very
Looking
obedience
for
will be
someone?
acceptable
But
to God
you're a novice.
I am a novice.
only if what
At least until I...
commanded is done
Why?
without hesitation. Delay, lukewarmness, grumbling,
Talk to him. Do you...
For the obedience given to superiors is given to God. For if the disciple obeys with an ill will and murmurs, not necessarily with his lips, but simply in his heart, then even though he fulfills the command, yet his work will
What troubles you?
sees that his heart is murmuring, and far from gaining
I heard you've been mistreating novice Lucas.
What's it to you?
I want you to put an end to it and treat him like you should.
Well, well. You've really got...
I couldn't care less who...
Come now. We had a bit...
Thanks.
Beware of Luke.
What do you mean?
He's a sod...
I'll decide from...
as follows. From Easter until the calends of October. When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th
I spoke to the cicadas about how they've been treating you.
Really?
After
Did
the
you
6th
manage
hour,
to convince them to leave me alone?
let them rest on their beds in perfect silence.
I turned the screws on them.
May perhaps want to
They'll leave you alone now.
read to himself
You've done it? You've stood up to the cicadas. You've earned my admiration and my thanks. Because now I know I can trust you. There's something I want to tell you. It's about Brother Antonius. I wouldn't like to say something that isn't true. God forbid I should cause harm by my words, but this is something I'm sure of. Novice Antonius is lying to us.
What makes you say that?
Weakness must be taken into
He
consideration.
claims he's a merchant's son from Vlachin, and that he joined the order voluntarily. The thing is, I spent a great deal of time in Vlachin. I know it like the back of my hand. and no one even remotely like Antonius has ever lived there.
Are you sure? Because this could mean that...
It's true, or Canute isn't my name. That would be my secular name, by the way, but that's not important. I know Flushing, and I know the local merchants there, and I've never seen Antonius among them. Why would he be lying if he had nothing to hide?
Thank you for telling me. I'll look into it.
The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on the spirit of silence. Let us do what the prophet says.
I've heard that you,
I will guard my ways, that I may not sin
well,
with
that
my
you enjoy the
tongue.
company of
I
men.
have set a guard to my mouth.
Is there any truth to it?
I was mute,
What?
humble, kept silent.
How do you know that?
The
Here
cicatas
the
told me.
prophet shows that if the spirit of
They'll
silence
never leave
is
me in
lost,
peace.
he does at times to refrain even from good
Yes,
speech.
you can call me
So
a
much
sodomite,
the
a
more
sinner, a
of
monster, the
sin
spawn of
is
Satan.
avoid
But
evil
tell me this,
works.
Gregor.
Therefore,
Can I help
since
the way
the
I am?
spirit of
I
silence
tell you, it's a test of my faith. A test so daunting you can't even imagine it.
Into perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy, edifying conversation.
You're
For
right.
it is written,
I found it interesting, but I'm not judging
"Not
you.
escape sin."
You are the way you are.
And in another place,
You should be true to yourself.
death and life
I'm glad you aren't like the
power of
others.
the tongue.
Thank you for not passing
Speaking
judgment.
and teaching belong to
I
the master.
swear to God, I've never lain with another man. I've never sinned. When my father wanted me to find a wife and start a family, I told him the truth, and he had me sent here. And in a way, I was glad. My guilt had been consuming me, and I knew in the monastery I'd find peace. The Lord sees my soul, and he knows it's pure.
For such conversation, we do not permit a disciple to open his mouth. The rule of Saint Benedict. Readings on daily manual labor. Idleness is the enemy of the soul. Therefore,
Brother.
brethren should be occupied at certain times.
Where were
and
you
labor,
during Mass?
and again at fixed
Don't
hours
tell me-
of sacred reading. To that end, we
I definitely was
prescribe
there.
that each may be
I did come a little
prescribed
late, so perhaps no one noticed me.
from Easter,
Really?
calends of October.
Fine then.
When they come out from prime in the morning, let them labor at whatever is necessary until about the 4th hour. And from the 4th hour until about the 6th, let them apply themselves to reading. After the 6th hour, having left the table, let them rest on their beds in perfect silence. Or if anyone may perhaps want to read, let him read to himself in such a way as not to disturb anyone else. Let none be said rather early, at the middle of the 8th hour, and let them again do what work has to be done until vespers. Weak or sickly brethren should be assigned a task or craft of such a nature as to keep them from idleness, and at the same time not to overburden them or drive them away with excessive toil. Their weakness must be taken into consideration by the abbot.
Peace be with you, brother.
Brother, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere?
I was feeling a...
Really? I'll pretend...
What would you like?
I've discovered... The circade... That's all I know.
Praise be to Christ.
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. Today it's your task to concoct 2 potions to aid digestion. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them. Ah.
I finished my work.
Show me what you've... Brother.
Peace be with you, brother.
What would you like?
I've heard there are some forbidden books locked up in the library.
That's correct. They're here, safely hidden away from anyone who might be tempted to read them.
What if I just wanted to take a peek? Could I?
You could not. They are libri prohibiti, and the only people permitted access to them are the abbot and I. Although I see no reason why he or I would ever want to read them.
Not even if I were to beg? Or promise a favour in return?
If you could prove to me that you truly like books, then maybe.
Could a book be prohibited by mistake? Maybe a good book or a useful one?
No errors are made. Every book on the prohibited list is there for a reason. Who am I to doubt the wisdom of Mother Church?
How does a book get on the forbidden list?
Forbidden works are full of heresy and blasphemy and witchcraft. If you ask me, we should burn them immediately, not archive them.
I don't need to hear anything else. I've heard about Avicenna's Book of Medicine. Could I see it?
Who told you about that? Of course you can't.
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
Is there anything I can do to help here?
I'm glad you asked. There's one thing, a silly thing really. I haven't thought to mention it to anyone before, but not long ago, a brother brought me a crumpled piece of parchment. He says he found it rolled up in a hole in the wall. The thing is, it was a page from Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who. Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
Can you tell me something about the book?
The Art of Love is a sort of manual instructing young people how to find and maintain love. It's a lovely work. I don't understand what bothered Eustace so much about it, but as I was saying, he considered the book to be immoral and tore it up to stop it corrupting any of his brothers.
Where should I look?
If I knew, I wouldn't have asked you to do it. The pages of the book could be hidden anywhere, from the garden to the refectory.
I'd like to ask... I'm here to work.
Good. This is most likely the first time you've ever done this in your life. But it's easier than you think. Just a bit of practice and learning Latin. Here's the original, and here are the blank parchments on which you'll copy what you read in the original. Is that clear? Then you may begin, and try not to make a mess of it.
Get away from that cabinet. The book's still in there, right? But yours. Are you interested in what's inside? Forbidden books, written by the devil himself. Forget about them. Get away from that cabinet. The book stood in there out for your eyes to see.
No, no, no. I can't believe you've made so many mistakes.
What would you like? Talk to me, brother.